There's a little bit of strong language used in today's video. It's nothing that you wouldn't hear on most TV channels, but those with a sensitive ear or intending to watch with children may want to watch this video before watching it with them. We're not swearing lightly, rather we're choosing to use strong words to describe extreme situations. Today's video is sponsored by you. Support the channel today from as little as $1 a month via Patreon or a YouTube channel membership, and help us continue to make content just like this. I'm pretty sure that if you are an industry professional and there's a big old news story that breaks about your chosen industry, everyone you know, from your high school friends through to your second cousins twice removed, your dentist, and probably even that neighbour who usually only ever talks to you when there's an issue with the height of your lawn, reaches out to tell you about some big news story in your industry. They want to know your opinion. They want to know if the story is real or if it's made up. And they may or may not be interested in telling you that clearly you have spent your entire working life being lied to by some insidious secret organisation that is secretly being funded by even more secret cabals made up of geriatric billionaires. If you have never experienced this before, be grateful, because I seem to experience it on an almost monthly basis. Sometimes it's friends and family members trying to be helpful and wanting to make sure I haven't missed the big news, and other times it's just Shouty Bob and his friends in the comments section. Today, I have got a humdinger of a video to discuss and debunk. A video about towing with the F150 Lightning Lariat standard range. A video from the dumbest automotive channel on YouTube. Its description, not mine, which was then picked up by the kind of media outlets who aren't known for their Pulitzer-winning journalism and are intended instead to make the outlet's owners very rich while selling stuff to audience members.
What a joke!
Yeah, that video. So, it all started about 2 weeks ago, when popular automotive YouTuber Tyler Hoover of Hoovie's Garage became a partial owner of a Ford F150 Lightning Lariat standard range. And then, just like every other YouTuber, because he had a new toy to play with, decided to go do some tests. One of them included doing a spot of towing, hitching up an aluminium trailer to the F150 Lightning and then proceeding to test the towing capabilities of the truck. And the too long didn't read of this 12.5-minute video was that, well, let's show you Hoovie's thumbnail. It was, yes, a total disaster. Anyone with a YouTube channel knows that there's some good old-fashioned clickbaiting going on here, and that's something we've been guilty of too, even when it comes to the Ford F150 Lightning videos. Not once, but twice. Okay, maybe 3 times? But the sad reality of YouTube is that it rewards clickbait and not more considered thumbs and titles because, well, we humans love ourselves some drama and controversy, don't we? So far, so good. Well, not good, because I'll come to the mistakes Tyler made in a moment, but Hoovie's Garage is a big channel, much larger than this one. It has 1.43 million subscribers, and many of them, nay, I would hazard most of them, are hardened petrolheads who don't like EVs at the best of times. Remember that fact, because it's going to be important. So it's no surprise that this video got shared. A lot. And it went viral, so much so that it ended up being covered by Breitbart, Fox News' Sean Hannity, and Alex Jones's radio show at InfoWars. And at this point, I feel like I might need to make a bit of a pit stop in Explanationville to make sure that those of you outside of the US know just the kind of caliber of outlets I am, in fact, talking about. Fox News is the easiest, so let's start there. It is a cable news channel owned by media mogul Rupert Murdoch. It's known for very right-leaning political commentary, and over the years, its hosts have peddled many falsehoods about everything from immigrants to the LGBTQ community, has consistently pushed conspiracy theories about the previous 2 presidential elections and COVID-19, and many of its hosts have taken to whipping up hysteria about quote-unquote woke liberals, transgender indoctrination, and white replacement theory. One of its principal hosts is Sean Hannity, who also has a website on which the Hoovie's Garage video was covered. And while technically it's not exactly Fox News, I'm putting Hannity in this context because, well, his principal gig is Fox News. Hannity and his show on Fox is readily watched throughout huge swathes of the US, but in recent months, Fox has fallen out of favour with ultra-conservative right-leaning sorts as being too woke. I know. Irony above irony, eh? Which leads me to Breitbart. It is like the ultra-conservative 100% proof moonshine to Fox News's top-shelf liquor. Breitbart loves itself some conspiracy theories, like claiming the Obama administration supported ISIS during the insurgency against the Syrian regime. It describes itself as going to war against 3 different targets: Hollywood and the mainstream media, the Democratic Party, and the quote-unquote Republican establishment in Washington, end quote. Some of its staff have documented connections to white supremacists, and the Anti-Defamation League has called it the, quote, premier website of the alt-right, end quote, adding that it represents, quote, white nationalists, unabashed anti-Semites, and racists, end quote. And by the way, because of the way that the American Constitution is written and interpreted, there is less emphasis in the US on news organizations being required to prove that what they are saying is actually true, which means more conspiracy theories than, say, you'd find in some other countries of more active media watchdogs designed to ensure someone's batshit crazy ideologies aren't reported as fact. Which brings me to the final part of this trio of misinformation: Alex Jones and his InfoWars show. Alex Jones is, you've guessed it, another far and alt-right conspiracy theorist who, like the 2 previously mentioned institutions, was treated favourably by the last administration and previous president. His radio show has seen him question and peddle conspiracy theories about everything from the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing through to the Twin Tower attacks on September 11th, and he has made wild claims about the government trying to chemically alter men to make them more effeminate by putting chemicals in water. He's questioned if the Apollo moon landings actually happened, and he's claimed that Democrats were all part of some massive Pizzagate conspiracy that involved them kidnapping children and drinking their blood. And is currently being sued multiple times over his continued claims that the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary was some kind of quote-unquote false flag event, stating that he believed there were no victims because it was all made up. At the same time, his show, which is still listened to by millions of people every day, is a commercial platform which he uses to peddle any number of products that are at best a waste of money and at worst, well, look, let's just say you should go and watch the linked video below if you want more info on that, because I'm not going to waste more time on him. So, having now given up more time on background context than I would ever hope to have done, let's look at how each of these outlets covered Hoovie's YouTube video. Remember, this video is actually about Tyler Hoover and Hoovie's Garage and the F-150 Lightning towing expedition. Okay, each of these outlets, in turn, decided to cover the video and use it in a way to demonstrate why electric vehicles are, in their considered opinions, terrible. Breitbart's coverage, interestingly, was the least extreme. It covered the distance that Tyler drove and the difference between the range quoted by the truck and the range he got. It also used a photo of President Biden driving a prototype F-150 Lightning, and the message was clear. Electric trucks suck, and you, as a red-blooded American, should not drive one. Hannity's coverage was honestly fairly mild. It added a comment about Governor Newsom of California wanting the state and the US to adopt electric cars, adding that Tyler Hoover, quote unquote, isn't so sure. But it was InfoWars and Alex Jones who went to town. Never being one to let facts get in the way of his ratings, Jones took to his radio show while his staff covered the story on the website, and they did some pretty shady stuff to the original story, claiming that the F-150 Lightning Lariat is a vehicle, quote, which Ford claims should have a tow capacity of 5,000 to 7,700 pounds at a range of around 200 to 320 miles, end quote. The site made some pretty spurious and inaccurate claims, including the line that, quote, picture a future where EV vehicles with depleted batteries are scattered along the highway every few miles, and you will get a glimpse of the Great Reset's anti-fossil fuel, anti-carbon agenda, end quote. Jones went further, claiming at one point that the F-150 Lightning would not tow the Ford Model A behind it at more than 20 miles per hour because, quote unquote, it had no torque. He implied the truck didn't have enough range to finish the trip and claims the towed Ford Model A was more powerful than the F-150 Lightning. Now, anyone with a modicum of common sense would have gone and watched Hoovie's garage to see what really happened and maybe even have cross-referenced it with other towing videos from similar vehicles towing similar weights. And if you haven't watched the video, you should do that too. We'll link to it below. Look, we successfully towed with our F-150 Lightning Lariat extended range from Seattle, Washington to Denver, Colorado with a car on a trailer behind it, with our only concerns being the reliability of the charging networks. But the issue here is that many people trust these three outlets and do not question what they are hearing. This is partly because what they're hearing reinforces their own inner monologues. They have confirmation bias. If you are someone who believes that electric vehicles suck and you see your favourite news channel reinforce that, you'll believe it. And yes, confirmation bias goes both ways. We here in the EV world have our own confirmation bias, and sometimes we call it out, and that upsets people too. But in order for us to deal with our own inner confirmation bias, we have to step outside of our comfort zone and ask ourselves if what we are experiencing or thinking is really the truth backed up by measurable evidence, or if we are just feeding our eyeballs with feel-good hormones. Which brings me to the deconstruction of the video from Tyler and the simple things he didn't do that would have cleaned up the experience. First up, he readily admits he played stuff up for the camera, and that includes both the way the video was edited and the way in which the thumbnail was portrayed. He was complimentary about the truck itself, just not its towing capabilities. On paper, though, he should have been just fine. He lives in Kansas, a state that's not known for its hills, but the way he drove the truck, the way he set up his trailer, and the steps he forgot to do all caused him to not get a very accurate representation of what the truck was capable of doing. Anytime you tow anything behind something else, you will lose efficiency. It's more noticeable in an electric vehicle because the total energy you are carrying on board is far less than the total energy carried on board with an internal combustion engine vehicle, even though the electric vehicle is far more efficient. And the larger the range of the vehicle, the less you will notice that overall efficiency drop. Tow 5,000 pounds, that's about 2,267 kilograms with a V8, and that engine will be less efficient than it is without the trailer. And the more brick-like the thing is that you're towing, the more the range will suffer, especially if you're driving fast. An old Ford Model A pickup may not be as heavy as a modern-day pickup truck, but it is just as much an aerodynamic brick, maybe even more. To get the very best range from that F-150 Lightning carrying that truck, Tyler would have been better to have put the truck inside an enclosed car transporter trailer with an aerodynamic front end. Frankly, that's one of the reasons why those trailers exist. Then there is the way the trailer was set up. Rather than pick a hitch that placed the tow ball at a height that would leave the trailer's load area parallel to the ground, Tyler used a hitch that was far too high for the trailer, resulting in a pretty noticeable upward pitch of the trailer towards the front of the vehicle. That again increased air resistance and drag. All of these issues were further compacted by the speed he towed at, the limit for where he lives. And the faster you go and the larger the difference between your speed and about 50 to 55 miles per hour, that's where you really start to feel the effects of aerodynamic drag on most vehicles, the less efficient your vehicle will be, regardless of what it is fueled by. But then there's a mistake that I think is most easily made, and one which I want to reiterate that you need to be mindful of if you have a Ford F-150 Lightning and want to tow with it. Tyler did not tell the truck what the trailer was. At least, I don't think he did. So the Ford F-150 Lightning, like almost every electric vehicle on the market today, has an internal range estimate algorithm that we all like to call guessometers. It takes your past driving and then tries to estimate, based on temperature, weather, and battery state of charge, what your actual vehicle range will be if you continue to drive into the future as you have in the past. Often these systems assume no changes and sometimes can't even factor in things like elevation or road changes. But for a large, pretty inefficient vehicle like a pickup truck, and we're calling the F-150 Lightning inefficient compared to other EVs, even though it's far more efficient than any gas pickup out there, this truck needs to know if you're attaching a trailer and towing something behind it. And this is where I'm going to criticize Ford, because while the truck does have a tow haul mode, you can activate that from the truck's touchscreen display. Turning that mode on doesn't automatically give you an accurate range estimate, because in addition to activating tow haul, you have to tell the truck about the trailer you're towing. You have to input its dimensions and approximate weight before the truck will actually give you accurate range estimates. Had Tyler done this at the start of his little adventure, the truck would have more accurately reported his range rather than lose the claimed 90 miles of range in 30 miles of travel. When we towed 5,000 pounds of car and trailer halfway across America back in August, I had to enter the details of the rented U-Haul trailer and the car before the truck gave a decent real-world estimate for what our range should be. When I did that, it just about halved the real-world range of what my truck could theoretically do without a trailer. And by being cognizant of how I was driving and how much power I was using, I was able to extend the range of my truck to be far better than Ford's internal worst-case estimates. Which brings me to my conclusion. The reality here is that had Tyler put the truck into the correct mode, it would have likely have given him a real-world full-to-empty range of about 110 miles, because he owns the standard range, not extended range, F-150 Lightning, and its official EPA rating is 220. The extended range would have probably been closer to 160 miles out of the box with tow mode and everything else set up properly. That fact would likely also have encouraged a different driving style, and had he hitched up the trailer better and loaded it better, he'd probably have been able to get a much more achievable 120 miles out of the truck. In short, I think I could. In fact, I'd love to try and repeat his test. So if you live in the Pacific Northwest and you have a Ford Model A we can borrow, please let us know. We could even replicate the rain that he experienced because, hey, it always rains in the PNW. We will even drain our extended range F-150 Lightning to the EPA-approved 220 miles of the standard range to make it a fairer test, even though my truck will weigh a lot more. But the reality here is that if you are buying a standard range F-150 Lightning, you won't be able to tow huge distances if you have a large, unaerodynamic thing on a trailer on the back of your truck, and you don't set up the trailer, and you don't set up the load correctly, and you don't program the trailer into the truck, and you drive like you stole everything. After all, towing above 60 or 70 miles per hour is frankly dangerous with most vehicles. There is in fact a reason why many states and countries around the world restrict the top speed of big rigs and caravans. It's for everyone's safety and efficiency too. That's it for today. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free to join Discord chat room. There are links in the video description, and if you really liked this video, why not consider leaving us a super thanks? It's easy to do and everything you send goes towards helping us make great content. If you haven't already, do be sure to make sure that you've subscribed to this channel and our other channel, Transport Evolved Take 2, and give that bell a gentle ding to be told when our next video goes live. And thanks on behalf of the entire TE crew go out to everyone who makes this channel possible. That includes everyone who supports us on Patreon and YouTube, as well as those of you who just watch and share. If you are a supporter at the charged up level, you'll see your name right here on my right. And if you just joined and your name isn't there, we're sorry. We currently render that list out every week or so, but sometimes our videos are produced a few weeks in advance. Thanks to our self-driving tier supporters, Mike Weeder, Patrick Boyarsky, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Michael Goad, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Pedro Muir Pinheiro, Brophy Wolf, Chris and Michael Johnson, Tazla in the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C., Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Denny Hyde, Chris the Centaur and Jim Burness. And of course, out of this world thanks to our Starman supporters, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, JP Fagerback, Joe Bresney, John Lyons, Rory Litwin, Kevin Barrowbridge, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Paul Conway, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and Ian. If you'd like to be part of that amazing list, you can join Patreon at the link below, hit the join button to support us on YouTube, or show us your support through Bitcoin, Ko-fi, or our cool swag store. And if you are unable to support us financially, just know that watching and sharing really makes a difference to how well our videos perform. Thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving.